Hello and welcome to Comics Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy.
Yes. So this is our midnight repeat because it's just gone midnight and we're about to do a repeat of the show. I mean, really, we really name things in that Hammerite kind of Ronseal way, don't we? Like,
we're very literal in the name of the show, what we're doing, everything else.
So we did a show earlier on, streamed it online, because that's what things are these days. Topical comedy show, turning the world into problems that we can solve, blah, 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 all the pitch like that. And this is our late night repeat of it, this is our pre-show chit-chat. Ooh,
yes, introduce this show.
It's one of my favourite bits of the week. I like this. It's so good. Have a little chat.
Oh, that's good. And what's nice is often we deal with the audience's problems. Often we deal with the world's problems. And today, Steve, we got to deal with some actual problems. Yeah,
the sound didn't work right at the start. This is the thing, the thing that holds back the internet is that the technology is great when it works, but all it takes is for like one of these laptops to nudge that wire that goes into the USB thing that connects the sound but not the picture. So I was seeable, but I wasn't. But you could hear me. That was the weird thing.
Well, that was why we didn't realize straight away. And we've, it's basically it was just a moment. So it's just a bit of a glitch. You'll see that tiny glitch in just a second.
You might prefer,
but that might prefer you. But I could still hear you, which is why we just carried on. Because if you had stopped, if I couldn't hear you, then we did have a technical fail on one show ages ago where I was totally Skyping out. And that was obvious to both of us that it was a problem.
Yeah.
But here, it wasn't until comments and the lovely audience that we have for the live show were like, can't hear Steve.
And actually, thank you to all the people sending messages. And what I love about how we do the show is that it's broadcast to loads of different platforms, and we see the comments coming back in from platforms. And there was a show a few weeks ago where we had like loads of people on YouTube, loads of people on my wall on Facebook, one page on Facebook as well, the main channel do it, all these different comments coming in, and then on one other place where we, like a straggling place where we don't really care that we send the stream, some pseudo sarcastic bastard went, oh, there you go, now you've got one comment. No, we haven't. We've got one comment on the shit website you watch, but everywhere else we do all right, thank you.
Yeah, we do appreciate our viewers. Just don't take
not that one. No, I mean the internet is filled with enough shittiness with that. Oh, and now you've got one comment.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, we've covered I think a good chunk of the news in this episode. We've had some fun in that, and
I managed to do a joke about the migrant crisis, which isn't offensive. I think
nice. That's always a plus.
I quite like that joke. But also later on in the show, all day I'd planned what I thought would be a funny thing where we pretend to just pause and freeze. And that would have been better if we hadn't have had a technical fail earlier on, because people probably watched that and thought, yeah, it's probably the USB again.
So when you see that bit, it's an actual joke.
Yeah. There is at least one actual joke in this show.
There's always one, and that's the challenge. If you can manage to watch the whole thing to find it.
Yep. Oh, dear. But keep the messages coming through as well, because even in the bit where we're playing out the show from earlier, we're still watching the comments.
Yeah. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, keep interacting. Our Twitter things are on screen as well right now.
Yeah, and if you enjoy what you're watching, you can share it with people. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also, because we still can gig live indoors, you can give us money.
I think I can press the thing. I think it still works on this bit.
There you go. There you go. So you can send us some money there. That's very much appreciated as well. And we've got doing the midnight recap now, but we'll be live doing the live actual broadcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
All right, let's crack into it then. Settle down, have yourself a drink, probably of water, because you just need to rehydrate. It's been very warm. And enjoy.
Enjoy. And I'm Eric McElroy, and welcome to the show. This is the second show of our new revamped product that we are putting forth to you for the Edinburgh Free Festival online. We were Comics in Quarantine Solving Problems, and we have evolved, haven't we, Steve? Yeah, I have gotten a couple comments on my chat that some people can't hear you, which I don't know how that would be possible. So let me just see here. Hold on. Have you stopped the broadcast? No. No, we're still going.
I'm going to go in and double fix.
Hello, there's everyone. We haven't had a technical problem like this since episode 14, which was my birthday. And it was an exciting day because we pumped it up big time. We said, people, come and watch. It's my birthday. And then
on to.
Yeah,
How about that now I've got some levels. Now I've got some levels.
Now we got some levels. We were hearing someone else, so I don't know what point to check the live feed, the delay. So I'm just going to... There's...
Spin his wheel.
I don't know who's coming in over you. Let me
How
see.
is
That could
even
be
possible?
Oh wait, that one could be. Maybe it's because I've got that channel open. Hold on. Let's see if you're there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm literally going to start all those jokes again. I didn't spend all day writing those.
You know, you can hear me a few minutes ago. This is the magic of live. Let's see if you talk here. Hold on. There you are. I can hear you now.
Yeah. So we're back now.
You're back. With the people who said they couldn't hear you, they can hear you now. Wait, this is just like an actual Friends show now.
Yeah. Okay. So I can get away with rattling through the same jokes and no one's heard them yet.
I believe that you can. I don't know at what point they started being able to hear you.
I think I just do them again. I think I do them again and deliver them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve's going to set up the problem he's going to solve. One of the first problems we've solved is a technical issue, and that's been resolved now. And one of the things that is also good about comedy is sometimes hearing jokes a second time makes them that much funnier. Sometimes hearing them for the very first time when you've seen them in silence makes them even funnier. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you with the first problem of the evening. It was really the second.
Yeah.
Mr. Steve N Allen.
Hello. I reckon I can act this as if I've done it for the first time. So I want to start off today's show with an apology, not only for the sound, but an apology because there was an earthquake in the English Channel. And it wasn't that long ago, I had a phone conversation with a friend and we were talking about the global pandemic, the massive recession that we're going to go through in the UK, the fact that there was terror events over here, civil unrest, Russia trying to interfere with the democracy over here, cities exploding, and then for some reason the resurgence of the bubonic plague happened this year. And I said to them, well, what else could go wrong? So it turns out it was my fault. I tempted fate. Don't do it. But then maybe I shouldn't feel bad because, and this is the fun bit, it was a fake quake.
What?
It's not real. Sussex earthquake turns out to be a false alarm. And I started to think, why would anyone be lying about there being an earthquake in the English Channel? And I think it was to try and stop the migrants coming across. Scare tactics. And who would be doing fake PR about the migrant crisis? Haagen-Dazs.
Oh, of course.
Because they're going to want to be in on this because it's the hot topic at the moment. Ben and Jerry's were tweeting about the migrant crisis, not really mentioning the obesity crisis so much, but, you know, they do what they can. And, they were talking about that. They're not the first ice cream company to get involved with passing comment on the situation with the migrant crisis. Because the other day I was walking outside, I saw an ice cream van that had a sign on the back of it that said, children crossing. And it made me think. And so look, it's miserable. All the news is miserable. The problem I'm going to solve is, where do we find the hope? And do you know where we find it? A coronavirus.
Woo!
I imagine the music played out last time. Without me.
I still want to dance again.
You want to do that joke again? Right, let's do the joke again. Coronavirus, which means it's cured! Yay! We're free! We're gonna, what's that? Cut the music.
What? Huh?
Right, let's have a look at it again. Russia! Darn it! Oh. So, Russia found a virus. Did they? Because actually, it was only 4 weeks ago that they were in the news for hacking us to try and copy our vaccine.
Yeah.
So when they say that they found the virus, did they find it in like downloaded files from the places they'd hacked? Did it end up going like this?
Hello, Vladimir. It's Sergey. Yeah, man with accent like guy from Star Trek. I've been going through the files we downloaded from the hacked computer at Oxford in England. There's something very promising. They have a folder. It's called The Cure. It's in a bigger folder called iTunes. Let's have a look. It could work.
Joke's worth doing twice.
Yep.
So it might have happened like that. What's happened so far? Apparently, they say it's doing well in the tests, but they haven't done clinical trials, which means it's passing tests without sitting tests. I think that's what we do over here for A-levels, actually. Stop copying us, Russia. Because it seems odd that they're going to license it without doing clinical trials. It's very much the sniff test. That's all they've done to it. They picked it up. Especially it's worse than that. It's like a sniff test when you think, is this milk on the turn? I can't quite tell, but everyone else is having milk and having my coffee black, so yeah, it'd be right. If they're not taking it, then they'll just be like, probably right. Might kill a few, but then that's kind of what happens in Vladimir's Russia anyway. So it just seems very bizarre. Do we trust them? Well, it's not like they're the kind of people to cheat when it comes to blood samples. Wait a minute. So they cheated before, and it was just to do with winning a running race, not trying to solve an epidemic. So I'm not incredibly comfortable. And the big question for me about trust is, if they were so far along the line of developing their own vaccine, why did they try and nick ours? It doesn't make any sense. It's very much like it's the virus version of copying someone's notes just before you go and sit an exam. And again, I should explain to young people, exams were things that used to tell you your exam results. It's an antiquated system. We don't do that anymore. So is there any positivity I can bring? Maybe Russia's really good when it comes to knowing how to kill this virus. Let's see some of their latest research. And we can find out that Russia said, boiling water can kill COVID-19. That is one step down from bleach. That is, for those people who can't afford toilet duck, there's your solution.
Yeah.
So if the problem was finding hope, I have probably failed to do it today. But at least we've solved the problem of the microphones not working.
Yeah. What about boiling the bleach?
I'd say give it a go. And actually, you could probably get a research grant from America and Russia if you applied in the right way. Could be the only way to make money during this lockdown lock.
The only way. Yeah, definitely a problem solved, and problem solved with the mics. I can see that. Oh, there we go. We got some smiles now, and people can hear you. So that's a good thing. So the one time my chat works.
Yeah. Well,
so
I
usually have problems with chat.
If we're talking shot, the reason I'm not looking at the chat is because I'm looking at the other stream that we're meant to be on by now, and they're still on. So I don't know if we should press the button. I don't know if we should.
They've run 15 minutes over. Can we do that? Can we just dump them?
I could, but I feel like that might cause more trouble.
I think we need to just send a message. So if you were meant to be watching us with the Free Festival, the show before us, which again, it's just like the actual Fringe now. Because only we don't have to do it every single day. So that's what happens at the Free Festival, or any festival, really. You get somebody ahead of you every day, and you're standing there going, oh, for fuck's sake, bitch. So anyway.
And now it makes it very difficult I know I'm catching up with all the messages, and it's just everyone saying, turn up the volume, can't hear you, Steve. So it'll, although Keith says, deja vu all over again. Yep.
Yep. There we go. And I realized they weren't broadcasting their sound. It's just that on my other screen I had their thingy playing, and when I pressed anyway, doesn't matter. We're back and we have sound. If you have problems that are less bad than that, please tell us. And if you'd like to give us money to help us get a sound engineer, the money to not donate is there, or it is there. Where's the link to donate, Steve?
Doing all the tech.
Give us there. There we go. We definitely need it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Stop looking at them because it doesn't matter. Just let it go.
Let it go. Well, subscribe to our YouTube, and that way we don't have to worry about their stream.
Yeah. Watch us on YouTube. Don't watch us on the Free Festival, which we've been advertising and promoting and paying for PR. That was beyond. So anyway, let's crack on to the next problem and ignore the problem of being part of an organization with other people. And that is the problem of the coronavirus as well, but in a different way, because America's handling it differently. They're not coming up with a fake vaccine in America. They're just now deciding, some parts of it anyway, to ignore the virus altogether. And that's happening in a place called Sturgis, South Dakota. And we've got the headline here. Basically, it's a motorcycle rally where bikers in a town of a population of about 7,000 are descending from around the country, 250,000 bikers. What could possibly go wrong, Steve? If you live in a little village in the middle of fucking nowhere and you're thinking, we're safe from the virus, you know what? I'm going to stop myself, because I'd written a whole bit about taking the piss out of these people and Trump supporters and everything else. And I thought, we kind of do that a lot. We've got the liberal bias and whatever. And I didn't want to do that. And so I wanted to make the effort to kind of reach out to people who maybe are look at these things differently. And so I found someone who's actually a Trump supporter who's at the rally, and I couldn't get the times to work to call them live, unfortunately. So I called and recorded it earlier today, and I just wanted to bridge that gap, Steve. And so here we've got the call. If we can play it out, here's a conversation with me and someone named Biker Bob.
Hi there. Thanks for agreeing to talk to me today. Hey, no problem. Good to be with you. I got time because we're here in South Dakota, and there ain't nothing to do in South Dakota once you get here except to polish our spokes, if you know what I mean. Yes, I think I do. Now, there are 250,000 people there at this rally. Aren't you worried about COVID-19? No way. I mean, I'm fine. I got lungs of steel. I've been riding bareback and sucking on a tailpipe all my life. I'm not sure that means what you think it does. No, it does. I mean, anyways, this ain't that bad, right? This is just a plandemic, meaning it's a plan put on by the Democrats. You see what I'm saying? It's a plan by the rats in the Democratic Party. Yeah, and it's because of that jokey Biden. You see there? I said jokey instead of joke. And now he's got that Kamala Harris, as in she's going to harass Mike Pence. Do you think Kamala Harris is a good pick for VP? Well, actually, you know what? I actually think that she's pretty badass. Look, if I can be honest with you, I don't really mean all the things I say. I know Donald Trump is lying. I know COVID is real. I just want to fit in with the other guys. You know what I mean? I even voted for Hillary in 2016. I'm just telling you, there's just something about her. Every time she wore one of those pantsuits, I just really wanted to get in there. All right. I think we'll leave that right there. Thanks. I do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Thanks. Bye. I don't think he was really in Sturgis.
I've never been more proud. Brilliant. Dear. That's what we'd see. You spoke to someone.
It's only taken me, well, I did do one other conversation early on. Basically, if you haven't been watching the show for as long as we've been doing it for the last 4 months, Steve often does the conversations with other people or himself, and I haven't done as many. So that was my foray into that. The last time I did it was talking to some eels in Japan. Yeah. So some green screen problems there because I'm using a purple screen and I had to use Zoom to fake it because I did order green screen from a company called Wish. And I think the reason they're called Wish is because you wish that their delivery will arrive before September when you order it in May.
Nice. Let's have a look. So I got some of the messages coming through, basically just saying sound working. Wait a minute. Mark says Oscar level method. Hey, let's not detract from the method acting that.
Did you see what I did with my beard as a character? I shaped my beard and I went downstairs like that, and my wife was ill.
That was that deserves some points. Let's have a look what else we've got going on in the methods. We've got, was it Nigel Farage stamping his foot really hard after seeing no migrants for a day? That's probably what the 3 on the Richter scale earthquake was down in by the coast. And let's have a look. It was after the Russian sketch. Was that when things came back? Is it? Okay. Here's Steve, says Ellie. Yep, there you go. It's got all the technology up and running.
There we go.
So if you enjoy the show in any way, you can contribute. The link should be below where you're watching this. Also, people getting an update that we are actually now streaming on the free festival one, which finally they stopped. Yeah, I've done the technology. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube, which is there as well if you're enjoying the show. Keep the messages coming through. We'll get more of them done. But I want to do a shout out to Keith, who I think actually he's sent a message on YouTube. Keith Foster, he was the one who said it's deja vu all again. Hugh says I can lip read, and it was a better second time round with those jokes. Thank you. It's because I practiced them. But Keith sent an email during the week with a news story about a problem that we hadn't solved before, but someone else has. And that is the story of how to do the sex during the coronavirus. Ooh. And this is the story he sent. Sex and coronavirus, how to have it safely. I guess that's sex, not have coronavirus safely. It's an odd way of phrasing it, but look, it's BBC News, it's Newsbeat for the kids. Again, bit weird, but it's on the BBC website, and that makes sense because if ever I want anything to do with more interesting sex tips, I always search for BBC. Anyway, and let's go through the article that Keith sent me just to see if we can learn something about. And this is similar to what you did, Eric, ages ago. There was one about how to have sex in New York.
Oh, yeah.
And that was early. That was like episode 9 or something. So finally, the UK has caught up. And this is the Terence Higgins Trust that's published advice to avoid kissing, wear a face covering and choose positions that aren't face-to-face. And it says, it may sound tough. It may sound better. You're kidding me, are you? You get out of kissing and you can still watch the telly at the same time. This is good stuff. The article then says, the best sexual partner during a pandemic is yourself. Let me stop you right there. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Terence Higgins Trust. I deserve the credit. Or someone you live with, which means that's going to be bad news for some mums and dads. I knew you should have moved out by now. So that's going to be an awkward conversation that some people are having. Then it goes on to say, masturbation, using sex toys, or participating in phone sex is the safest option. And do you know what? I think phone sex is the good option. And some people might not find it appealing. I think you just have to try more. Like earlier on, I managed to have some phone sex.
Oh, yeah. No, I like it. Yeah. Take it off. Yeah? Take it off. And what else? Take that off too. Yeah. And take that off too. Yeah, take it off, yeah. What's that? That leaves me with a plain margarita. Okay, brilliant. I got my card.
There's a picture of us. Oh, surely we all knew I was going to head back to that joke. Did you not spot that coming a mile off? Yeah.
Oh, dear.
In fact, you've probably spotted what the pattern is now. I've been through the article that Keith sent just to do cheeky innuendo. So let's rattle through some, shall we? They say, that's not to say that sex is off the table. No, I think you should do it on the table, as long as you wipe it down first. They say that the virus could be spread through saliva, mucus, or breath of those who have it. Also, contact with hard surfaces. Ladies. That's why the Trust recommends not kissing, wearing a face mask. Do you know what? That means these people had it right all along. Who would have thought? I'm sorry for being so hard on them, but they probably enjoyed it. And it said that the virus has been found in semen, poo, which actually is another interesting fact. That means you can't do kissing, you can't do missionary, and you can't do, A-levels. And I should explain that's a euphemism for body sex. And nothing else, because apparently it's not an exam these days. And then they finally say at the end, you're still meant to wash your hands for 20 seconds. You've got to sing happy birthday while you're doing it, which makes sense because for most people, if you're finally getting sex, it's probably on your birthday.
Yeah.
I think that might have been a joke that you did back when we did the New York one.
I can't remember. But I mean, I can't imagine having sex for more than 20 seconds. But
so look, there's all the top tips. There's all the top tips. And if you want to do any of these weird practices, where could you go to indulge in these kinky things?
And Greenwich Park is one of the oldest enclosed of the Royal Parks. And look at it. Fabulous. The sun is beating down. We've seen lots of doggers.
Yeah, there we go.
So is that going to be in every show now?
Whenever I can fit it in, it's just the best thing the BBC's ever broadcast. So,
whenever you can fit it in.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Keith. And the same thing, if you spot a news story you'd like us to analyse, send it through. You can email through the week, send messages wherever you're watching this. And as you know the drill, if you've enjoyed it, slap some money in the direction of these two poor comedians.
Yes, you can. And let's see. And that, if you missed that link, it should be in the description of the show. Or maybe Steve, you can leave it there for a second. Thank you to Paul for actually buying us a drink or two there. Thank you very much for that. He actually did before the show even started, which is good because that was before we had the sound problems. Right. If there are any comments to catch up with, someone has liked Biker Bob, so maybe he'll have to become a regular feature of the show.
He can have his own spin-off as well. We could do spin-off clips.
Yeah,
get your own series.
The problem with that, though, is that it takes me so long to grow an actual beard. Yeah. It'll be another 5 months. If we have a second lockdown, Biker Bob will return.
If you grow a beard and we'll really bulk write all of the sketches, get them recorded in one day, and then you'll be fine. Mark wants to know, was there mention of a Shegs doll?
No. But there is now.
And Ellie points out, she said, I would buy you both a drink or a coffee if I could. But currently, if I could currently buy myself one too. That is the difficult thing.
Yes.
We realise we're heading face first into a recession, so this begging format of comedy is not going to work out, but we'll do what we can.
Yeah. No, we do. We try. We try.
Oh, Mark says I also did method. That was my acting, because I did Russian accent, or I did, like the guy in the film versions of the Star Treks. That's as close to Russian as I could do.
He was good. I mean, it was a career.
Yeah, it worked for him. Not although as a character he did get killed off. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Right. Well, we've got some more problems in America. And the problem is, the exciting thing, before I set up the problem, is we have a vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, and that is Kamala Harris. Very excited about that, like a little Kamala. But the problem is, it's great to have a woman be the first woman of color to be on a major party ticket in the United States. Only the third time that a woman has been vice presidential nominee. We're not going to mention the last time was Sarah Palin. That went well. But there's a little bit more hope with this time. But of course, right now the numbers say that she could definitely be in office come January after the election in November, and that does create a problem for her husband, a man named Douglas Emhoff, who would become the first second lady, which is the title of the person married to the vice president. So here we've got a headline, a little picture of the couple here. Who is Doug Emhoff and Kamala Harris's husband? He's looking at, actually in that photo, he doesn't look very happy. He's kind of realizing my title's going to be second lady, isn't it? What have I done? They've only been married since 2014. Little facts on Dougie. He's an entertainment lawyer.
We could do with one of those.
Yeah, it's all right. So he's financially set on his own, which is good. VP doesn't pay that much. And he has had a famous client or two. This is one of his most famous clients. We've got an image of that, which won't mean anything probably to the British audience. But that's the Chihuahua that was the representative of Taco Bell for a long time. So they have to give him, Douglas, something to do. So because of his experience with the Chihuahua and Taco Bell, he's going to be in charge of Hispanic outreach.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. It's an interesting dynamic between Kamala and Doug. She's pretty cool. I like her a lot. We've got an image of her. Here she is actually under pressure when someone stormed the stage when she was at a speaking event. This was before a few months back.
Oh dear. Hey.
Yeah. So that was her sitting down, and she sat there. She was cool. She handed him the microphone. No confrontation, not ruffled at all. She was a prosecutor. She definitely knows what's going on. Get to see a little bit of her husband's side here as this sort of situation unfolded. We've got a clip of that.
Thank you so much, sir, for your big idea.
Yeah, just pay attention here in a second. Now, this coming up here. Now, pay attention to the guy on the left in the suit. That's who we want to watch.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
See, there it is. Watch this moment. Look at that. Look at that. He comes in there, dives in. A little second lady action going on. And you can tell he means business, too, because someone caught this look on his face as they were throwing the guy out. Look at that.
Oh, he's not happy at all.
Yeah. I think that's the time he finally realized what his title was going to be.
Yeah. That's the look on a husband's face when a younger man goes near your wife. That's what it is. A younger hipster going near the wife. Back
damn
off,
hipsters. Yeah, that's right. Well, if he'd seen Biker Bob, there had been problems.
Did you see we got a message saying that Biker Bob needs a new hat? Oh, harsh. Heather says that Bob needs a new hat.
That's the hat it's up there. It's been there all these years. It's up there.
Yeah.
On the
finally
front.
got in the show. Hugh says, did Kamala wait for the WWE wrestler with the same name to die before stepping into the limelight? And Alex says money's not the issue. Oh, so the money's fine, but is there a shortage of coffee? It's my fault because I said nothing could go wrong. Else could go wrong in 2020. Now there's a flipping coffee shortage heading our way. Keep your comments coming through. We'll deal with more of them as we get them. We'll check some tweets still as well. You can tweet us. Our little things are on the bottom. And if you're enjoying the show in any way, you could slap some coffee-related money in this direction.
Coffee, alcohol, whatever it is, whatever we need. Some boiled water money. If we're going to use those Russian cures, whatever it takes. I could use the money for a new hat. That's an actual proper cowboy hat. It was bought for me in America.
Yep, an actual cowboy hat. As if, and you're proud of that. But In terms of solving problems, look, I saw a survey that was saying as much as people expected there to be a baby boom after the lockdown, it's actually, if anything, the other way. We've seen divorces increase, and it turns out people are being less amorous. So what can you do to keep spark alive? What can you do to keep that bit of romance going in your relationship? So I thought I'd try and find a romantic story just to make us all feel a little bit better. And my favourite romantic story of the week it's from down here in Kent, where my studio is based. A stuntman proposed to his girlfriend while on fire.
What?
That really steps up the intensity of the whole thing. No pressure, but I am on fire down here, so hurry up, would you? And she's a nurse, he's a stuntman. I mean, in some ways, it's a little bit like bringing your work home with you. I mean, I've never been married to a stuntman, but at some point she might be kind of, oh, he's on fire again. Would you put that out? But I think we can get the video of it now. It's slightly slowed down, I think, here, so we can watch. Here we go. It gets ignited by the guy around there, the Stig, for some reason. And then he reaches in, he gets the ring, he's down, say yes, no pressure, but I will hug you. And here's my favourite bit. Look, they're putting him out, but she takes the ring away. She's like, yeah, he might be burning, but it's not my ring. My favourite, lovely, lovely ring. I mean, look, they always say you want drama to make relationships actually work. There was a big craze of extreme proposals. Do you remember that in the news? Mm-hmm. Where people would arrange to have a gang, stop a car, pull you out of the car at gunpoint, and then at the end of it, at some point, the bloke gets down on one knee and says, will you marry me? And then the woman cries, as you would.
Because she's terrified.
Yeah, exactly. You're crying because of the emotion. No, this guy's going to shoot me. I mean, how much do you expect to not get a yes, that you need to put a gun to someone's head? Or like, would you say yes? You don't have to stay engaged to me for long because I'll be burnt out in about 3 minutes. But it turns out it's a good thing that stuntmen do. And to find out more, I'm actually joined on the line by a stuntman who does these kind of things. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Wait a minute, you're on fire. You on fire?
Yes, I am on fire. Yes.
Are you filming something at the moment, or is this a special thing for this show?
Oh no, this is not a professional thing. No, this is just how hot it's been in the UK this week.
Yep, fair play. Felt that in my loins myself.
Yep.
But so, look, have we solved the problem of how to be romantic? I guess, yeah. And what you could do is cover yourself in flame retardant gel, cover yourself in some fuel, set fire to yourself, and drop down on one knee before your beloved. And if that's what you do, then I guess you really could say you've kept the spark alive. Always wanted to do one of those sitcom endings. There we go.
It was a long ending. I was like, I chose the wrong pose here.
I practiced those earlier on today. You don't want to get stuck in one, you do one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people probably thought we were buffering.
That's the problem of doing it on this format. Dear. Ellie says proposal fail. Yes, it was. Would you ever propose while on fire?
Would I? I felt pressure. The pressure I felt, especially with my, because I've been married a couple of times, Steve, and and I had to do. My first wife was very keen on the diamond being just right, and so there was a lot of pressure. I did it in the top of the Space Needle restaurant, so cheesy as hell. And the problem with the Space Needle, which I hadn't planned on, is the tables are only about this far apart. There's no social distancing, so kind of just squeeze in between the tables. There's people right there, and but my wife made it very clear once she didn't say yes until she looked at the diamond. And it was a good enough quality that she was willing to say yes.
Did she get one of those jeweler's eyepieces out?
Yes, basically. She's like, all right. It was really romantic.
Wow. Mark was saying to Ellie, I proposed with a Winnie the Pooh card with a poem that I put together myself. There you go. And I'm presuming there was no fire involved unless she burnt it afterwards. And Ellie says...
Set the Winnie the Pooh on fire.
That's what I think of that. And on the topic of would you like that proposal, Ellie says, no, maybe if drowning. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, the image you showed, the woman standing there, the fact she's wearing her nurse's outfit, she was standing there like, okay. If you did not have such a huge life insurance policy, I would not be doing this.
But then again, if you are a stuntman, getting married to a nurse That's making a saving. That's an investment to pay off later on in life. She's going to be busy.
Into that. Maybe she's into the thing. She likes him coming home hurt.
Super busy. Lovely. So if you're enjoying the show, you can buy us a drink. The address is below the thing, and keep the messages coming through. Right, we better rattle on to the next one.
Cool. Yep. Fantastic. Well, this is a problem. I've gone all American today. I don't normally do that because I do like a problem in the UK as well, but there's so much happening. And the latest problem that's happened in America is a failure with the COVID relief bill that they're trying to pass. And Donald Trump's been trying to address that. He's been making daily press conferences, and Donald Trump wants you to know that it is not his fault, which we can see here.
Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are holding the American people hostage over money for their radical left-wing agenda that the country doesn't want and won't accept. For example, they've asked for a ridiculous $3.5 billion, that's billion, $3.5 billion for universal mail-in voting.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. Those demo rats, as Bob told us earlier, they just want money. They want money for people to vote.
She's sick, isn't it?
In the middle of a pandemic. What are they trying to save? The American Republic and democratic experiment? Ugh, what's wrong with those people? He's not going to allow that to happen because Donald Trump is worried about this people voting, like by absentee and by mail-in because of the huge potential for fraud. And he's got some real examples. Here's the first one.
A system riddled by fraud and corruption. And then you look at what happened in Virginia, and they admitted they made a mistake. And many were sent to dead people.
Wow, Sixth Sense.
I don't know why actually Donald Trump minds that one, because you'd think that, he would want the dead vote. Because, with his management of the pandemic, he's created so many potential voters. But that's not even his biggest worry with potential voter fraud. This is.
Number were sent, I guess at least 2, 3, 4 were sent to dogs. One was sent to a cat.
Yep. That's right, Steve.
They're worried they're going to fill him in.
The country's literally going to the dogs.
Nice.
And the cats. But what do you think, Steve? If the votes are going to the cats and dogs now, who do you think is going to like Trump? What's your instinct?
Interesting. I think in terms of the animal version of the kind of person you'd see wearing a MAGA hat, I'd imagine it's a dog. They seem they're less intellectual and lick themselves a lot. So yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, you know what? You are absolutely right. We've got the headline right here. Cats prefer Biden because he doesn't grab them so much. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, just by a whisker though. Just by a whisker. And the dogs like Trump, not just because of the licking, but also because they smell the same when wet.
Oh, it's the hair, isn't it?
It's the hair. But that wasn't the only Trump news we had this week. It's not just a problem with voting. There's also a major problem for Trump in his life, and that is, of course, something that's been going on for a while. It's the shower. And I'm not just talking about a Russian hotel shower, Steve.
Oh.
I'm talking about actual shower heads, because apparently Trump doesn't think there's enough water getting through to make it through his nappy dog hair.
Wow.
So he's been pushing the government to change the water pressure coming through showers.
Where do you stand on this as a concept? It's not. I know over here we had a problem about the power of hair dryers and vacuum cleaners because of the EU. Have you ever been concerned about the force that is allowed to go through a shower head?
I like a good stream.
Are we back to the...
What am I talking about now,
files of the CCTV?
I do have to say, it wasn't until I first moved here, and the first house I lived in, the shower head wasn't up. It was just a bathtub that you sat and squatted in, and then you just held because the cord wasn't long enough that you would, and the water pressure wasn't good enough that you could stand up and shower even holding it. So it was about a year of just a squat shower.
Yeah.
So
I struggle a lot with that.
Something.
Whenever we go to like Airbnbs, for some reason people love to put a shower in a bath in a roof that's sloping. So for me as a 6'2", I'm like, yeah, and I'm washing stomach and lower. Everything else, not till I get home. Simple as that. You just gotta do what you gotta do,
all right.
So the actual problem with this, though, I've looked into the specifics, and the regulations state that through a nozzle you can have, so like a pipe can have 9.5 litres per minute coming out of it. So if you get the tap or whatever, 9.5. And they want to argue that the whole shower head attached to the end of that pipe shouldn't be considered as one nozzle, 9.5 litres per minute, that each individual hole should be classified as a nozzle, so you should be allowed to get 9.5 litres per minute coming out of every little hole. What? I'm saying right now that is a bad idea, because that's not only a lot of pressure to come through a little hole. Also, every time I take a shower, at least one of the little bastards has decided to become slightly blocked and aimed right at me. And I do not want 9.5 litres per minute get me right in the face. So, no, Donald, there is no way this is a good idea.
Actually, I can't think of one time when that would be a good idea. And that is if your fiancé is proposing while they're on fire.
Will you marry me? And also, could you get me 9.5 litres per minute of water? Because I forgot to do the flame retardant.
Oh dear. So yes. Well, the problem we have now is that we're reaching the end of the show.
Got some comments to come through. So Ellie had previously said she'd only want to be proposed to like that if drowning. Mark points out you'd appreciate a ring (brackets if it was rubber). Nice, rubber ring would sort you out in that situation. We've got so many. Can you see some of these messages to try and get through? Well, Heather says, "Yay, the sound's working again." Heather, you've missed the whole show. We got it working quite earlier. Hugh says, I wish I'd proposed being on fire. That would have given me an idea of the hell I would have to endure for the next few years. Happy times.
Well, I can't see any more comments on this side, but I can thank Keith for buying us a coffee. So thank you very much to Keith. And there's been a couple others through. I can't see the names on them yet, but yes, thank you very much for that.
Ellie says I'm having significant shower issues and hair issues where I'm staying at the moment. Interesting. Okay. Is it a water pressure problem? Is that what it is? In the old days, they used to do a cold water tank at the top of the house, but they don't do that these days.
Yeah. That was something I learned when I got here as well.
I've reached middle-aged man status. I thought I was good when I could do conversations about A-roads with my dad, but these days, plumbing. Not like the old days with a cold water tank. Used to be up in loft. Trump also gets the guinea pig votes. They think his hair is related to them.
Nice.
What were the names of the things on Star Trek? It's Tribble, isn't it? From Star Trek.
Yeah, Tribbles. Can't believe you didn't know that, Steve. I thought you were the Trekkie of the two of us.
Well, I used to be a Trekkie until I tried to watch Star Trek Lower Decks, the new animated series.
What?
And have you not seen it? Oh,
no.
The internet is awash with write-ups of how terrible it is. It's unbelievable. So given that the Star Trek franchise gave us Discovery, Picard, and then there's I can't remember. It's Strange New Worlds. It's going to be the bit in between. When Captain Pike goes off and does some stuff. So it all looks great. And then the latest thing they add to it is this animated comedy series about Star Trek Lower Decks.
No, just that concept there, that pitch has already put me off.
Absolutely. It's ruining the brand. Diane gives us one of these shape emojis.
Oh, thank you very much,
which
Dan. There we go.
I think is just enjoying the show, or if it's to do with the advice that we had from the Terence Higgins Trust. It could be... It's
also the symbol for white power. So thanks for that.
Thankfully, not a white emoji. It was a yellowy coloured one. We get away with that.
Yep.
Any more messages coming through? I think we've managed to mop them
good.
up quite nicely.
So we run our show on time, which it's now time to finish. We don't overrun like some other people do, and we are back with the festival. We've got next Tuesday, but we're taking next Thursday off of the festival. But we will be live on YouTube and other platforms. So Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:00 in the UK. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's the main platform to find us most of the time. We put little clips on there from our socials as well, outtakes from this show and stuff like that. So please share and tell people about it.
I might take the clips of the ones where I could be heard. Called me old-fashioned, or I'll just really badly dub it.
Well, old-fashioned would be silent comedy, so a little slapstick.
Yeah,
because we were dancing with you, having no reason whatsoever. So why not? Fuck it. Yes, there we go. Anything else to add there, Steve?
Basically, no. The link's at the bottom if you'd like to buy us a drink to help out, and keep spreading the word. Wait a minute, we do have an update. Ellie says, Steve, plumbing is where it's at. Poor water pressure till they descaled the shower head. Also, all the water is so warm, cold water no longer exists in Suffolk. It is a problem.
Yeah.
I don't want to rub your face in it, but the water here is not only in Kent. This is the tastiest water of anywhere I've ever lived, and I've lived all over the country. I used to live in Stevenage, and it was such hard water that I used to descale the kettle, and it says after you've descaled it once, you just got to boil it once, and then you can use it. And during that boil it once, you could see it start to build up again. Oh dear. Although that would be all right with all those hard metals in it. You could put it in the fridge and it'd cool it down. So yeah. I've been taking cold baths, lying in the cold bath till I'm cold. It's the only way to try and cope in this flipping heat wave.
There we go. Some science at the end.
Yeah.
It's going to make you happy.
Brilliant. And she says, "Oh, sod off." Yep, I'm rubbing people's faces in it about the nice water. Right, so I think we're out of time. Thursday, 9 o'clock. No, it is Thursday.
Tuesday. It is Thursday. Yep.
Tuesday, 9 o'clock. We'll see you there. Till then.
Bye.